talking about like auditioning and being cast as Alex. What was that process for the audition? If you can talk
Sure.
about that.
Sure. I mean, funny enough, my very first audition for the game was with Han.
Wait,
He was,
really?
yeah,
I didn't
he
know
was
this.
playing my Gabe. Yeah, and so it wasn't even at Deck 9. It was just this very large
If I may say, operator,
casting
your chosen
audition, and
Warframe suits
I don't know
you.
how the
Ha, ha.
casting agent pairs people, but Han and I were paired together, and so that was the first time I met him. And if anybody has had the pleasure of interacting with Han, he just has like a very charismatic energy about him, and he's very confident. And I remember him like us parting ways after the scene, and he just lobs over his shoulder. He was like, "I'll see you on set." It's like, okay, I mean, maybe. So yeah, there were actually a ton of auditions for this. At the end of it, um, it came down to me and one other actress, and Square came out. They came out to Colorado. A bunch of the creatives and the decision makers around the game came out to watch the last two auditions. And yeah, I remember thinking, gosh, depending on who they choose, they're going to get a totally different game because we just had completely different sensibilities and life experiences. Not that one was better than the other, but just totally different. It was pretty intense.
Man, that's crazy. So you actually auditioned with Han, or Han was already cast?
So the very first audition, he hadn't been cast yet. I
Wow.
think yeah. So they were casting for Alex, Ryan, and Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
Because those were the three characters that they knew, and the three characters who, there are a couple more, but who made it from that point in time all the way through into production.
That's amazing. It makes you wonder too, like, with you both auditioning together, like, did that help in any way, like form that chemistry that, we see to this day, It's just crazy to think.
Yeah,
Life
it really
works in
is.
wonderful, mysterious ways.
Yeah, I definitely think that like Han and I were meant to meet, and he's been just like a big brother to me, and he's kind of shepherded me through this entire process, and been a really great mentor, and tempers that with giving me just a whole bunch of shit.
I love that. So Picasso asked, what was it like getting to play such an iconic character in a franchise as well known as Life is Strange? Was it stressful? Did you feel like you had to prove something?
God damn it, Robert.
I think that that's a
Ouais.
good question. I think my ignorance at the industry, the game, acting, all of it really did work in my favor, because Webb told me my first day on set, he was like, look, we just need you to be a human. He was like, we don't want any like really big musical theatery performances. Just be really grounded and be a human. I was like, okay, well, if I can't do that, then what the fuck's
Yeah.
So I kind of I created Alex with the help of Deck 9 and really like found her. She changed a ton. But as I started to learn more about the game and its reach and the fans and how much people love the previous games and how attached they get, I didn't even know that narrative adventure games were a thing. I think the last like true video game that I played was GoldenEye.
It's interesting to talk about, like, you just coming in and Webb saying we want you to be just a human, because I think that is what people most connect with Alex, is that, she is just a human and she's super relatable, and there was people talking, and some of the questions we got were about like your voice and just like how real and raw everything was. Your performance was so raw. Like, and I think that, you know, that comes in with you being an amazing actor and also, you know, being able to pull your life experiences into that and just having a mix of that. And yeah, I think I can say for everybody watching right now, you did an incredible job. Going back to what you said about changing, Alex has changed over the course of the 3 years working on it. JJ asked a question, literally that. So has she changed? Has Alex changed? And what were the differences from when you first walked on set to the Alex we see now?
I mean, she's a completely different person. I think that just speaks to the strength of collaboration between me and Zach and Webb and the writers, cinematics. Like it really was a team effort. And also, I think the interactions and the chemistry that I had with you and the rest of the cast also really helped to bring that to life. But at the beginning, the Alex that I auditioned for was she was a lot closer to Chloe, actually. I mean, obviously very different, but in terms of more of like an anger, a bitterness, just a brittleness to her that we definitely softened throughout. Where because the power was empathy, you have to be able to see that she is just this beating heart being held in a hand. You know, there has to be like a warmth and a vulnerability, and not so many walls up, so that when she does emote, that it didn't feel fake. I think. Yeah, she was definitely more cutting. The dialogue was like a little meaner.
Oh my gosh, you talk about that. I'm in my second playthrough right now, and we're doing everything that I did differently. And so I got to see a really mean Alex when you walk away from Mac. Webb is in the chat, and he goes, "Be ready, this is brutal." And I go, "What do you mean it's brutal? She's just gonna walk away." Wow. I mean, it's great. Like, you did an amazing job, but yeah, it's just like when you talked about, you know, her being a little bit brittle, it reminded me of that instance that I experienced yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that up. They wanted to keep like that as part of her, because obviously she has it. Like, how could she not harbor some sort of bitterness about how she's gotten to this point in her life? But it was important to Zach and to the writers and to Webb that not be the kernel of who she was, and then everything else radiated out from there. That wasn't it. We really quickly switched to like there's like a hope and a resilience and like just a deep well of empathy, obviously, with this young woman, and that needed to shine through. But when those harsh pieces came out, they were...
Oh man, my face, I'm sure it was just like, what? I was not ready for it. So coming into a little bit more of you as an actor, you know, you talked about, you know, this was you kind of dipping your toes back into acting, theater, trying something completely new with video games. Jamie asks, since you were working on this game for several years, how do you think your performance or technique as an actor has changed over this time as you've gotten to know the character better, and I guess as you've gotten to know your acting style better as well?
Yeah.